Okay, so come to this problem. This is a problem on application of bond immunization, which is connected with the topic we are doing. It's application problem. So come to this problem. It might come some after few problems. Just find it out. Okay, hope you are able to get the question. Mr. A will need 1 lakh after 2 years, for which he wants to make one-time necessary investment now. He has a choice of two types of bonds. Details are given below: bond X, bond Y, face value, coupon, years to maturity, current price, current yield. Advise Mr. A whether he should invest all his money in one type of bond or should he buy both the bonds, and if so, in which quantity. Assume that there will not be any call risk or default risk. That risk part will come to it later. First, get the context right. He wants 1 lakh after 2 years. He has to invest today such a way he will get 1 lakh rupees after 2 years. Now, if he invests in a bond which has a duration of 2 years, problem is solved. But is not the case, because one will have years to maturity of 1 year, other will have years to maturity of 4 years. And we don't require years to maturity, we require duration for appropriate risk management. That's what we learned so far. Duration is the average holding period. Now, what we should do, or why is it required? We have to invest in both the bonds such a way that the weighted average duration of the bonds will meet 2 years. Okay, let us do one thing. Let's first calculate that. Then I'll go further and I'll explain the logic. So what do we do now? For bond X, we compute the duration, and for bond Y, we compute the duration. Then we'll try to meet our target holding period. Okay, so let's try to fill that first. Okay, now duration of bond X. Let's focus on calculating the duration of both the bonds separately. Duration of bond X, which is year, cash flow, discounting factor at YTM, discounted cash flow, product. What is the bond X is having? Face value 1000, coupon 7%. That means 70 rupees coupon, 1000 rupees redemption price. Then current price, current price they have given, very good. Current yield 10%. So discounting factor will take 10%. So that will give you the present value, and accordingly we can calculate the product as well. Year 1, 1070, 1000 rupee redemption price, 70 coupon, discounting factor 10%. I'm taking 3 decimals, you can take 4 also. Discounted cash flow, multiply 1 into 972, you get 972 itself. So duration, product is 972.63, present value is the sum of weights is 972.63, you get 1 year. Actually, my dear friends, we should not have calculated this at all. Why? Because when there is only 1 year, there is only one cash flow. We discussed it earlier today itself. Hope you remember. When it is only 1 year time to maturity, then the duration also will be 1 year only, because only one cash flow is there. See, duration is nothing but an average. If 2-3 numbers are there, we take an average, in between number is obtained. But in this case, there's only one maturity, 1 year. So answer also will be 1 year. But anyway, as a format, you can write it down. But bond Y is not like that. We have to calculate one by one. Year 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 years maturity. Coupon rate 8%, so 80, 80, 80. Last year along with redemption price, face value 1080. Discounting factor, you can take these decimals just to match my answer. Multiply, you get discount cash flow. Then you do the products. Then you please compute the duration. Please do it. I hope you are able to calculate. If you have any doubts in these calculations, you can ask. You can use the shortcut formula also. I found tabular method is much comfortable to follow, so I'm presenting like this. If you feel formula method is easier, you can definitely go for it. Okay. Okay. Hope you're able to get it now. How much duration you're getting? 3335.68 by 936.52. Approximately, I think 3.56. Okay. Okay. Now get the concept right. I'll repeat once more. One bond has a duration of 1 year. Another bond has a duration of 3.562 years. But you want to invest in a bond at a duration of 2 years. So what do? You invest in both the bonds such a way the weighted average of the bond, like you can say bond portfolio, fixed income portfolio, you invest some amount in bond X, you invest some amount in bond Y, and when you compute the weighted average, it should come to 2 years. One lower duration bond, one higher duration bond, and in between your target holding period. What does it do? Please pay attention here. Conceptually, you need the money after 2 years in this case. But in bond X, the bond X will be redeemed after first year itself. Are you understanding? There is a time gap. The first bond gets matured after year 1, and you need the money after year 2. Now in this time gap, what will you do that money? Can you tell me? What do you think will happen? Don't tell me I'll keep the money in my house, I'll keep it safely. Keeping it in money in cash is not the financial management. After year 1, the bond X gets redeemed. You receive the money in cash. You have to reinvest. Perfectly right. You have to reinvest in bond Y, because that's the only bond available in this information. You invest in bond Y. Now, when you reinvest in bond Y, after 1 year, will the market price remain same? Obviously not. After year 1, the market price will change. Now, after year 1, market price will change depending on what is the YTM in that situation. In the sense, after 1 year, if YTM increases, your market price will be less. If YTM reduces, your market price will be more. So, depending on the situation in the year 1, you have to reinvest. Now, depending on the situation in year 1 means your money is becoming uncertain. Whether you invest more or you invest less in terms of quantity, your money value will be uncertain. We don't want that situation. What does it happen? Listen carefully. Now, when YTM, let's say, reduces, when YTM reduces, market price increase. Market price increase. That means you will not be able to get more investment. You can purchase only less number of units. Shall I repeat once more? I am discussing only one part. Other part I am going to discuss. After year 1, bond X will be redeemed, and that needs to be reinvested because your target period is yet to come, which is 2 years. Now, if YTM increase, market price would have been reduced because of inverse relationship. If YTM increase, the market price would have been reduced. If YTM decreased, the market price would have been increased. Now, market price increased means what will happen? You can purchase more number of units or you can purchase less number of units. When market price increase, you can purchase less number of units. So there is a loss risk there. Please pay attention here. Please pay attention here. Okay, bond X reinvestment is giving you loss. Reinvestment is giving you loss. But bond Y, you are having already investment in bond Y. That market price, what will happen? Your existing holding, you already purchased bond Y units today. When the YTM decreases, the market price increase, it may be a problem for new purchase. But bond Y today only you already purchased, your existing holding is there, that value will increase. Are you understanding? One negative impact, one positive impact, overall that negative impact, positive impact will be set off and your investment will be protected. With the help of examples also, I will show you, I will prove you with the help of numbers in this case, but that is called as bond immunization. We don't have to write the theory, in exam they will not ask, but problem they can ask, which you are doing now. So what is bond immunization? We invest in a bond and another bond. I can say a portfolio of bond, with one bond having less duration, another bond having higher duration, in such a way the weighted average of the duration will come to your target holding period. And what is the purpose of doing this? In one bond which matures earlier will have reinvestment. Another bond you have already invested, that will be redeemed later. So on one bond there is reinvestment, on another bond there is existing investment. So if YTM increases, one value will reduce, another value will increase. Same thing for YTM reduce. So YTM increase or YTM reduce, one will increase, other will reduce. Either way, your holding, the required amount will always be protected. I hope you got the concept. Don't worry, I'll explain with the help of numericals to get more confidence. But conceptually, what is required for solving problems? You compute the duration of bond X, duration of bond Y, then we mix the two such a way that the holding period is obtained. Let's do that first from exam point of view, then let's interpret more subsequently. Okay, so let X be invested in bond X and investment in bond Y will be 1 minus X. Bond immunization concept theory is there in the material. You can read through it. So you don't have to worry about so many things. I just told you for your reference. So what is required for solving problems? I am doing it now. Does not require too much of understanding. Follow the steps, sufficient. So duration we calculated, then we compute the amount. That's all they ask in exam. But more interpretation, once we done with the calculations, then I'll do more of verification. You'll get the concepts, and that after that the sentence you can read in the material, you'll get the clarity. Okay, now we want to understand how much to invest in bond X, how much to invest in bond Y. Bond X, let's say X. Bond Y, I am writing 1 minus X. Why is that? Because I am writing first as proportions. Proportions. Why is it so? Because if I invest 60% in bond X, obviously in bond Y, I'll invest 40%. Only two bonds are there. No, 60% goes to bond X, means 40% has to come to bond Y only. So 0.6 if it goes to bond X, 1 minus 0.6, which means 0.4 will come to bond Y. So bond X is X, bond Y, don't take it as Y, otherwise simultaneously the equations will come. Just make it as 1 minus X, because we have two bonds. In some problem you might have three bonds also, X, Y, Z, then I can't use this. Then you should do for X, X separately, for Y, Y separately, for Z, Z separately. But anyway, as of now, keep it very simple. Bond X, X. Bond Y will be 1 minus X. Now what do you do? What is the weighted average of this duration? You know the formula for weighted average, summation XW means what? The duration multiplied by the weights. So duration 1 year multiplied by the weight is X. Duration 3.562 years multiplied by the weight is 1 minus X. Duration multiplied by weight. So 1 multiplied by X, 3.562 multiplied by 1 minus X. The weighted average of the duration of the two bonds should be equal to your investment period. In this case, your investment period is 2 years. Therefore, your weighted average should be equal to 2 years. Simplify. 3.562 into 1 means 3.562 only. 3.562 into X means 3.562X. So X and X will keep it on the left side. 3.562 I take it the right side. So X minus 3.562X. 2 minus 3.562. Simplify. Minus 2.562X. Minus 1.562X. X equals, the 2.562 goes to right side. So you get 0.61 or 61%. 61% should be in X, means balance 39% should be in Y. 1 second. Okay. So 0.61 in X. So bond X should be 0.61 or 61%. So bond Y should be remaining 1 minus X. So 1 minus 0.61, which is 0.39. Write down till here. So from exam point of view, bond immunization, your steps is, this is the important step. Invest in both the bonds such a way that the weighted average will be equal to your holding period. This is the proportionate investment we should calculate rupee investment and number of units. Mr. A cannot get his money at year 2 if he goes for bond Y as its maturity period is 4. Is that Mr. A can redeem the bond Y in year 2? He can. I'll explain you how when I explain the verification part. At that point in time I'll show it to you. Basically, you will have market price. You can sell it in the market. I'll discuss that point. Okay. If we invest entirely in bond Y, then what will be the outcome? If you invest entirely in bond Y, then the benefit of reinvestment cannot be taken. If YTM increases or if YTM reduces, your holding will accordingly be affected. We want to have a reinvestment and we want to have an existing investment. I want to have a combination of both. After year 1, when YTM reduces, bond Y cannot do anything. But when the bond X is reinvested, that reinvestment can have the impact of change in YTM. We want to have that reinvestment opportunity open. That will not happen if we invest in bond Y. We want that reinvestment to manage the risk. Okay, hope you have done till here. Shall I go further? Okay. Now, this what we calculated is 61% should be invested in bond X, 39% should be invested in bond Y. Now, can you tell me, my dear friends, how much money I need? 1 lakh. So, 1 lakh I need. Can I tell 61%? 61,000 should go to bond X. Do you think it's fine? 1 lakh is the amount of investment. 61% is bond X. So, 61,000 should go to bond X. It's not right. Why? Because 1 lakh is not today value. 1 lakh is going to come after 2 years, right? You need the money after 2 years. So 1 lakh should not be invested. 1 lakh is after 2 years. You should do the present value of 1 lakh and that should be invested. So let's calculate that first. 1 lakh present value. Present value means that is future value divided by 1 plus R, or you can multiply it by second year discounting factor. Future value divided by 1 plus R to the power of 2. Number of years is 2 years. 1 second. Okay. Now you may ask one question. The 10% how did you get? YTM. Which one? Bond X YTM or bond Y YTM? Both YTM. 10%. Oh, coincidence. Both are 10% YTM. No, you should invest both bonds such a way the risk is same. YTM is same only. You can't have a different YTM. You can't invest in two different risky bonds. You should invest in same risk bonds. So you should take 10% only. You should take a bond with bonds which are having same risk, same YTM. So present value comes to 82,645. I'm getting one question. Subsequent reduction, I'll hold on your thoughts. First, let us finish this. As I told you, I will discuss that part, how the money will change when the YTM will change. We'll discuss that and then I'll address your question. So as of now, first we'll focus on what is required for examination. So let's calculate this part. Don't try to don't have this jumping between the two concepts. First focus on what is required, then we'll see what is to be understood for our verification purpose. Okay. You get 82,645. This 82,645 we will divide among two units. So we will divide in the ratio of 61% and 39%. This is the today value, present value, today value. So 61% goes to bond X and 39% goes to bond Y. Okay. But so how much amount you get? 82,645 into 61%. So you get 50,413. This is in bond X. Remaining will go to bond Y. But one thing you tell me, have they asked okay, have they asked amount of investment or proportion of investment? What is the requirement in the problem? How much to be invested in each bonds, and if so, what else they've asked? They've asked, if so, in which quantity? In which quantity? So quantity means number of units. How do you calculate quantity, number of units? The amount of investment divided by the market price. So amount of investment we know 50,5413 divided by the market price 972, that will give you 52 units approximately. Investment in Y 82,645 into 39% and divided by the market price will be 35 units. This is the quantity they are asking. Amount of investment divided by the price, market price, will give you the quantity, that is number of okay. That's all what they ask, and that's all they can ask in examination. You write down till here, then I'll go for one extra discussion. Why it is called as bond immunization? How does that exactly imply? I'll discuss that part. But that discussion part not required for exam, it's only for our understanding. Okay, hope it is done till here. Okay, is it, I hope it is done. Okay, okay, now I'll understand. I'll try to explain. Hope you should also understand why it is called as bond immunization. One of you are asking whether it's beneficial, not beneficial. That also will address it. Now, implication of immunization. Why it's called as immunization? You try to tell me. After year 1, only two things can happen. Either YTM increases or YTM decreases. If YTM remains same, then everything is same only, no problem. If YTM increases, what will happen to your existing investment? That is existing investment in bond Y. You already invested. When YTM increases, what will happen to market price? Market price will reduce, right? Market price will reduce. Now, when market price reduces, what will happen to your existing portfolio? Can you tell me, is it profit or loss? Think carefully and tell me. You have already invested in bond Y or in a bond, and the market price of that bond has gone down. Where you invested, that bond has gone down. Obviously, you don't like it, so that will be a loss, right? That will be a loss. How much ever loss may be, that will be a loss. Okay, that will be a loss. Very good. Now, tell me in reinvestment what will happen when the market price reduces. When you are reinvesting, at the time of investing, if the market price comes down, you like it, don't you? You can invest more, you can purchase more number of units. So in the sense, you will have profits. You will have profit. Okay, this is one scenario. Another scenario, what will happen? If YTM decreases, what will happen? That means market price will increase. When market price increase, what will be the impact on existing investment? When YTM decreases, market price increase, which means your existing portfolio will give you profits. Existing value will increase, will give you profits. But what will happen on reinvestment? When the market price increase, you have to pay more to get less number of units, so it is going to be a loss. Okay, so hope you are able to understand what is happening here. Why it is called as immunization? You are immune, you are not affected. Whether the YTM increase or YTM decrease, you are not affected by the change. Your overall portfolio will remain same. Overall portfolio will remain same. Okay, you write down this. Then one situation I'll discuss. Other situation you can try it later. One of the situation numericals, I'll discuss it now. Please write down this table. Overall, no impact. Okay, so overall no impact. Okay, now one of you are asking the question, bond Y is having the maturity of 4 years. How can you sell after? What will you do after 2 years? One of the fundamental things we discussed in bond valuation at the beginning itself. What is the difference between loan and the bond? Loan is a contract, cannot be sold. You have to wait till maturity. Bond is an instrument. It is tradable in market. So after 2 years, it will have a market. Market price will be determined based on YTM. So after 2 years, bond Y holdings can be sold in the market and money can be generated. That was the answer to your question. And one other question was, you're asking in subsequently reduction in the market price, it will be beneficial because of increase in YTM. So in on one hand beneficial, another hand will be a loss. Existing holding when the market price less will be a loss. I hope I answered all the questions there. Anyway, so I'll go for one numerical on this for verification purpose. Other one you can try it later. I hope you are done till here interpretation. Okay. After year 1 you receive 52,000, right? 52 units you have invested, which will be redeemed. This will be redeemed and you receive coupon also. This will be redeemed and you receive coupon. Coupon on 52,000 you get 3640, on 35,000 you receive 8%. That total amount what will you have? 55,640 amount of redemption plus coupon, and 2,800 is the coupon received in bond Y after year 1. This is the cash you are having after year 1. What you should do with these two amounts? You can't say I have cash, I'm very happy. You need to reinvest. Where will you reinvest? We discussed you reinvest in bond Y. Now bond Y, what would have happened to market price? Let's say if YTM increase, I am discussing this situation. YTM increase, you can try it later. If YTM reduces later, you can try. If YTM is 11%, what will be the market price of bond Y? Depending on that, you will purchase so many number of units, right? So how many units you are going to receive? How much will be the market price? 80 rupees the coupon multiplied by annuity factor at 11% for 3 years. Sir, why 3 years? 4 years was the maturity period. 1 year is over. Remaining only 3 years. And last year, redemption price equal to face value 1000 multiplied by discounting factor, and that will give you 926.69. Because YTM increased, market price reduced. That is a negative thing for your existing holding, but positive for your reinvestment. So how much you can reinvest now? 55,640 rupees you have, 2,800 rupees you have. So how much units you can purchase? 55,640 rupees plus 2,800 divided by 926.69, 63 units you can purchase. For verification, I am taking decimals also. Now after year 2, one if you are asking what will you do? On the units, how many units you have? 35 existing units plus 63 new units. On that 1,000 rupees face value into 8% coupon, receive 7845 coupon, and at this point in time you need money, but redemption price is happening after 4th year. No worries, you can sell in the market. So compute the market price of the bond Y after 2 years. How do you compute after 2 years? Only remaining 2 years are there. So same process like the earlier one you calculated, you calculate now, which is 80 into annuity factor at 11% for 2 years. YTM is 11%, and 1000 face value redemption price for second year discounting factor, it comes to 948.62. So you had 35 units, you purchased 63 units. Now both have to be sold in the market. After 2 years you need money, so sell in the market. 35 plus 63 into 948, you get 93,072. and you are already having 7845 in the form of coupon. Together, totally you received 1,0867,000, little bit more you received. So whatever may be the situation, you will always end up getting either 1 lakh or more, whether YTM increases or YTM decreases. I have discussed situation of one, you can similarly calculate for another. There also you can see the amount of receipt will be 1 lakh or more, never less. That's why it is immune, unaffected by fluctuations in the market. That's why it is called as bond immunization. Your amount of income is protected, amount of investment required is protected. Just one small point, this is assuming the company is going well. I told you risk can happen. What if the company is suddenly closed down, they defaulted, they are a sister company of Vijay Mallya? What will happen? All these things goes for a toss. No bond immunization there. Default risk cannot be managed. That is a risk you have to carry. That's why they said assume no default risk. They also said assume no call risk. No call risk means the company should not redeem in advance. This market price what we calculated now, assuming it is remaining till 4th year, we calculated present value of future cash flows. What if they redeem earlier? All your expectation goes for a toss. That's why the problem they said ignore call risk, that is company will not call in advance, and ignore default risk, assume company is not having any default issue. Anyway, this what I've discussed with you is only for reference, not required for examination. What is required for exam is to compute the duration, compute the weighted average, compute the amount to be invested. This interpretation is only for your reference. So you may take down or you can take a picture of this as the case may be. You can try when the YTM reduces. I have done YTM increase. You can try later when the YTM reduces.